What's going on, everybody? What is going on? And it is another Sunday stream. This is back-to-back Sundays. Hopefully, it doesn't become like a permanent thing, but I mean, if it does become more frequent, then it is what it is. But shout out to everybody who is in here so far. So far, it says I have 49 in here. Make sure y'all come on in, hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that subscribe button if you are new. And let's see who we have in here so far. We got Southern Lady Brown, Cruel Reality, Hack Sign KT, Mike Mellis, John Akbar Bea, Descendant of Chaos and Controversy, Mr. Knock, Hack Sign KT, Afro Elite, Don P, Dewani, Bruce, Bot Boy, Chris Vesey, welcome on in. And also shout out to Kid Gravity. He was the inspiration behind me doing this stream today because he actually did a live stream talking about this same subject yesterday on his stream. What I did was I pinned at the top of the I pinned the message at the top, what his video talking about this at the top of the chat. So make sure y'all go over there and check out his video, but also make sure to subscribe as well. He does a lot of great commentaries, especially in the political side, and political season is pretty much upon us. So you're going to get a lot of politic based videos out of him. Kid Gravity said, I embrace villainy. You most definitely did, because you was in rare form yesterday. You let it rip. At first, I didn't even think you was on YouTube the way that you was talking. But this guy really made you feel some type of way. And I can understand why. And the people that's going to be watching here tonight are definitely going to understand as well if they are not familiar with this person. But we're going to get started in about 3 more minutes. So come on in, hit that like button, hit that share button. I hope to get this stream done within an hour, because I do want to see what TBA has to say about Jimmy Clyburn down there in South Carolina. Come on in. The Senate said, I don't know who this person is, but my curiosity is activated. Good. You're going to find out. And I actually had to add some more stuff into it as well, because it's going to add on to a more bigger point that I have to make. What's going on, Cyberdean and B1 to you? Alex Stone said, I stopped watching the morning, the afternoon, and evening news 5 years ago. I stopped being afraid of everything. No more fear. What's going on? Sybil said, good afternoon to you. I had to put I guess you can say, a timer on with my subscribers, because let's just say that video that I did yesterday at 6 o'clock made its rounds to the person I was talking about, and he felt some type of way. Him and his flock felt some type of way about it. I had talked to a couple people about it. They know who they are. We'll see what happens with that. I probably don't expect to have that many people in here, because I know that it is Mother's Day. And also, like I said, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. I put it up on my community tab this morning. To all the mothers that are subscribed to my channel, happy Mother's Day to you. Give it about 1 more minute, and we're going to go ahead and get started. All right, it's officially 6:10, so I'm going to go ahead now and share my screen. Let's see here. All right, I'm going to zoom in a little bit too, so you can see it a little bit better. So as we all know, there has just been ever since last week with the killing of Jordan Neely, there have been a lot of Dub S individuals who have completely lost their damn minds with this when it comes to this situation, and who they're choosing to defend when it comes to this. And I came across this tweet thanks to Kid Gravity. Never heard of this guy before until yesterday, or maybe it was the day before, by someone by the name of DC Drano. At least that's what they call themselves, but that's not their real name. Their real name is Rogan O'Hanley, as you can see right here. That's their real name. And they posted this tweet, and it could be seen as very cryptic, but he posted this tweet, and this was following the arrest of Daniel Penny. And I'm going to read to you what it says. He says, "Dear women of NYC, your last line of defense against violent criminals attacking and sexually assaulting you in public was just removed. The cops are defunded and the DAs won't prosecute. But you still had the chance of a random Good Samaritan stepping up to save the day until today. Daniel Penny's arrest just sent a clear message to any would-be hero that if you try to stop the violent felons in New York City, you will be treated like one. It also sent a message to the violent predators that the DA is on their side. This isn't fear-mongering. This is reality. You should seriously consider moving out of that city because it's sadly only a matter of time until you become the next bail reform statistic." All right, so that's what he put up there. I'm going to go through it again, but then we're going to break it down line by line, because he claims this isn't fear-mongering, but that's exactly what this is. Then after we break it down some more, we're going to go and look and see what they were talking about in the replies and the quoted tweets, and we're going to go on from there, because I have some more stuff that I have to show you. So he starts off saying, "Dear women of NYC," so he's writing it as if it's a letter. "Your last line of defense against violent criminals attacking and sexually assaulting you in public was just removed." Again, when Daniel Penny killed Jordan Neely, he did not know of Jordan Neely's past, but they keep putting this up here as if Daniel Penny knew what his past was, and he was swooping down like Superman with his cape flapping and his theme music playing in the background, and he was just coming in to save the day. But remember, many of them have to see themselves as the hero, which is why Rob over at Blacklight Revelations always says that Black people need to embrace villainy, because as you can see, these are their heroes. Kind of reminds you that show The Boys, don't it? For those of you who watch The Boys, you know exactly why I made that reference. He said the cops are defunded and the DAs won't prosecute. First off, the cops are not defunded. I'm trying to figure out, where did he get that from? Can anyone in the chat tell me when they put out news that the cops were defunded? Because I didn't get wind of that. If I had got wind of that, I would have talked about it. He said the cops are defunded and the DAs won't prosecute. Not if you Alvin Bragg. Remember, Alvin Bragg didn't do anything with Maya Ponsetto a couple years ago, and she attacked an innocent teenage Black boy. But I'm trying to figure out, when did the cops ever get defunded? Because I didn't get that news. So I'm a little bit lost on that. But again, he's putting stuff out there to try to rile something up. Then he says, but you still had the chance of a random Good Samaritan stepping up to save the day. I hope y'all are really understanding what this dude is saying, what he's putting out there. And when we go through some of the replies, you'll understand it even more. Until today, Daniel Penny's arrest just sent a clear message to any would-be hero that if you try to stop the violent felons in New York City, you will be treated like one. Again, they didn't know Jordan Neely's background. But again, the optics is what they loved to see up until the point he got arrested. They basically saying that Daniel Penny should have just got away with killing somebody. It also sends a message to the violent predators that the DA is on their side. Barely. Like, look at that weak charge they gave Daniel Penny. 2nd-degree manslaughter. That's weak. But it's the fact he got charged at all with anything, and the fact that he faces up to 15 years, and the key words there are up to. Afro said, what does save the day mean? Jordan Neely wasn't harming anyone. My point exactly. What was he saving him? What was he saving them from? Because remember, for those of y'all who was on my live stream this past Friday, I should say, I showed a video where they displayed that the last minutes of Jordan Neely while he was alive, and he was just standing there asking for money to get some food. He wasn't yelling, he wasn't raising his voice, none of that. He wasn't being threatening. No one on the train even was flinching or looked scared of him. So what are they talking about? Again, over exaggerating. This isn't fear mongering. This is reality. Actually, that's exactly what this is. It's fear mongering. And the reality of it is that Daniel Penny killed Jordan Neely because he wanted to. You should seriously consider moving out of that city, because it's sadly only a matter of time until you become the next bail reform statistic. And I want people to understand what that DC Draino or Rogan O'Hanley, he's talking to white women, y'all. This dude is practically mainly talking to white women. He could care less about any other group of women. He's talking to white women right now. Patricia said, this is the second time that I heard about defund the police. The first time I heard this from Jason Blatt's broadcast from a caller. Kid Gravity said they want methed out Logan Paul to be the Punisher. Right. They want him to be Frank Castle. Put the uniform on and everything. He just goes out there and just does what everything, like vigilante justice. That's basically what they want it to be boiled down to. Let me zoom out a little bit so we can go through some of these replies. And shout out to my Kim, one of my subscribers. She said, violent predators, that might apply to people who physically attack others without provocation, but Jordan Neely didn't hurt anyone that day. And I'm not even going to go through the reply, because I can only imagine someone who's replying back and say he probably didn't do anything that day, but let's look at his 40 plus arrests, because they keep bringing that up. Robert Hardy said, this is none of that at all. This is about the murder of an unarmed man who was perceived as a threat. Sure, passengers could have been fearful of Jordan Neely's threats, but why not simply overpower, subdue, and wait for authorities? Choking until unconsciousness and eventually death somehow feels justified? Wow. Let's see what else they're talking about here. This person says he still has to have his day in court, though. Being a good Samaritan doesn't make you above the law. This person says better pray. This one says horrible. Then they put stuff down there about Alvin Bragg and Letitia James. Then there's some pictures of Alvin Bragg and Chuck Schumer. This one put a meme up there that says villains and extremists, where they have Kyle Rittenhouse. This looks like Alec Baldwin, Daniel Penny, and I forgot who this guy is. I did a video on him. This one says heroes and martyrs. George Floyd. This looks like, is that Rayshard Brooks or Jalen Walker? I think that's Jalen Walker. No, is that Rayshard Brooks? And that's Rayshard Brooks. Jordan Neely and Audrey Hale. Again, this is another one of those echo chambered pages. This person said it's insane if they perp walk him. He turned himself in. He has no record and served our country honorably. This could have been handled with much more dignity. This one says you get what you effing voted for. Someone said I would bet if you asked him if he would do it again, he would. That is the essence of a hero, knowing it would probably end badly for them and doing it anyway. There is hope left. There is hope because there are still good men out there, just none on the left. They love to do this left-right thing, but we know the code speak. Descendant of Chaos said Fakem brought that up and donate. I bet he did. And we're going to talk about that. We are going to talk about that. Afro said he's trying to get the white women on code with this one. Definitely. That's really all it is. Shout out to Nettie Newsom. She says, line of defense, he was a coward who snuck up from behind and put a mentally ill black man who wasn't a threat to no one but himself in a chokehold. And this one says, shut up, when are you going to do something? And they put a bunch of PC individuals who like literally this looks like a combination of a prison lineup mixed with those barbershop pictures you see when you're about to get your hair cut. This one says, sounds like you were planning another cold-blooded, bare-handed murder that you expect no consequences for your actions. What kind of hell is it that the rest of us are being threatened and murdered by y'all? This person said he isn't Marvel the Punisher. Law and order means someone sees their day in court, not choked out in public because they had a criminal past. So on and so forth. People saying free Daniel Penny. But I want y'all to look at the quoted tweets. Because like I said, that's where you see, those are the ones I really like to read. What's going on, Trinity to the Bone and RG Titan? Let's see what they're talking about in these quoted tweets. This person says, why are you talking about sexual assault? He wasn't doing that. Someone says, men do not step up and save women. Men are the ones attacking and sexually assaulting us. This one says, so this tweet, like many others, is openly and outwardly declaring that what left Twitter, quote unquote, assigned to a tweet of mine last week that had no meaning beyond telling women to simply be careful when wanting to offer care to homeless men in their community. Someone says they voted for it. Now let them reap their rewards. Don't look to me. I'm out. This one says fact. This one says defunding the police in NYC is not the answer in a city fermenting with sexual assaults, burglaries, and violent crimes. Defunding the boroughs, Marxist representatives, the district attorney, the mayor, and the state governor is a good start. This person says people do not help anyone outside of yourself and family. Let them die in the street, get beat up, violated, murdered, OD. Our corrupted, worthless country and its so-called law enforcement will throw you in prison if you dare help someone else. This one says it would be wise in this day and age to get the F out of the big urban areas. Someone says mad facts. This one says you should consider moving out of the city. This one says that's what I said. NYC about to have bystander effect on steroids. They said they're going to convict this kid for Neely's death when the real killer was probably fentanyl. And again, we see leftist policy self-destruct. The only downside is the large number of non-leftists who will suffer as well. It says we really live in a society that's trying to justify murder. And it goes on and on and on and on. Like I said, he posted this up on May 12th, and it continues to go on. But the real message is within that first tweet that he made. And shout out to Kid Gravity again, because the video that he did about this dude, apparently he used to be some kind of entertainment lawyer, and I guess it wasn't making him enough money, so he decided to do what they all do, and that was hit the grift line. So as far as I'm concerned, this guy is probably most likely just grifting his butt off. Don't get it twisted. He most likely means exactly what he says. As after all, it says Rogan O'Hanley, husband, patriot, lawyer, exposing corruption on both sides, anti-woke, and then he put an X and a clown symbol next to it, a clown emoji. Oh, my King reported. Speaking of, she's in here. She shout out to her. She says there's a new conspiracy out now where these folks saying Penny didn't murk Neely because he was breathing when he let. Yeah, let that just be a conspiracy. I ain't falling for that crap. Kid Gravity said he literally just did a woke tweet. See, that's the thing. Bethany Mandel effect. You ask them to define what woke is, at least their version of it, and you get Bethany Mandel. You know what's so crazy? After her fumble back in March, I'm willing to bet that if you ask anyone who has seen that, who subscribes to that mentality, what does the word woke mean? I'm willing to bet they will still fumble that the definition of that word, at least the proper and right definition of that word. William Wynn said, give it time, they will say he committed suicide. That revisionist history is an interesting one, right? Especially if they got their hands on it. Mike Mellis Johnson, it is ironic how the most atrocious crimes occur in the most vanilla and secluded areas of the whole country, aka the suburbs. And what did Rob tell us about, surviving the suburbs? Exactly. But yeah, this was one big dog whistle tweet. That's all it was. This was one big dog whistle tweet. My Kim says if you analyze Penny's body language during the incident and after where he was arrested, Penny looks like he has mental issues, might have PTSD. I'm not trying to give him all of that because, they go on that. Then that's the next thing they're going to latch on to say why he shouldn't be locked up. Then they're going to say, oh, well, just put him in some kind of mental institution. Nope. I'm not about to give them that kind of leeway. He say clown said never far removing it from the Neanderthals. I used to say never far removed from their ancestors, but I'm past that at this point. At this point, I say they are their ancestors. I come across stuff every single day that's pretty much proven that point. But I'm gonna move on to the next point that I have to make, and I have to give a shout out to Kid Gravity again for this right here. It's only a small clip. I'm sure they're going to cover everything that I need to talk about in this clip. So let's go ahead and get into it.
Where in Queens, police want help identifying 3 suspects in a subway attack. They say the trio punched a 34-year-old man repeatedly and tried to steal his belongings. The attack took place yesterday evening on an F train as it approached the 71st Avenue station in Forest Hills. The group exited the train when it pulled into the station.
Okay, so y'all heard it right there. It's only 22 seconds. It's a very small clip, and it's an even shorter article. Now, this happened on Friday. This happened this past Friday, as in Friday the 12th. When everyone was still talking about Daniel Penny and Jordan Neely and all of that, this happened 2 days ago. It says 3 men are wanted for punching a 34-year-old man repeatedly and trying to steal his belongings. I would like to know, why didn't any of the people that are backing up Daniel Penny, the ones that are throwing stuff down, talking trash about Jordan Neely, why aren't they talking about this? This happened in New York, and it happened on a train. And a person was actually attacked by not 1, not 2, but 3 men. And you can go on any of those pages that had all this stuff to say about Jordan Neely, and not one of them are talking about this. I don't care if the story came out today at 12:45 a.m. In my opinion, that's long enough. That's long enough to grab and gravitate toward the story. Exactly, descended selective outrage. And as you can see, these are 3 south of the Borderians. Kid Gravity said you saw that. Oh, the one about the 44. I'm gonna just say 44. Is that the one you're talking about, Kid Gravity? If you are talking about that, yes, I did, and I am I'm including that in this stream. If that's the story you're talking about, that's going to be the icing. That's going to be the cherry on top of this cake. Okay, I know exactly what. Yep, I'm gonna talk about that. I'm saving that for the end. That's gonna be the last one right there because there's a lot of people that don't know about that story. When I found out about that, I said, "Oh, either I'm gonna put that in the live stream or that's gonna be an Operation Protect the White Boy. Either way, it's gonna be covered on this channel." And I said, "You know, why put on another day what I can do today?" So yeah, they're currently searching for them. They don't know their names. I tried to see if I could find a more updated story about this, but I couldn't find one. So this is the only one that's out there right now. And speaking of, when's the last time we heard about that story about those south of the Borderian teenagers who attacked that autistic black teen on the train back in March? The last thing we ever heard about that was that only one of them was arrested. And that was back in March. It's been well over a month since the last time we heard about that. The people that's supposed to be outraged about what's going on with Daniel Penny, I didn't hear them talk about that either. But remember, when it comes to black people, our mental health isn't taken seriously, which is why more black people need to take it seriously. Not so anyone else can acknowledge it, but just so we can. But let's move on to the next one. And I wanted to talk about Daniel Penny's crowdfunding source. I want to talk about the source because I don't think a lot of people are aware of where this is coming from. A lot of people still think that Daniel Penny's crowdfunding is coming from GoFundMe, and it's not. It's coming from another place. One that is not as well known, but is going to be known after this. So I'm reading this article from the Gothamist, and it says Daniel Penny's lawyers crowdfund defense on site used to raise money for January 6th defendants. Let me read that again. Daniel Penny's lawyers crowdfund defense on site used to raise money for January 6th defendants. So that means the same crowdfunding site that Daniel Penny's lawyers are using are the same ones that many others use to help raise money for the people who were at the invasion of the Capitol on January 6th, 2021. I don't think that's a coincidence. Especially when you look at the vast majority of the people that was out there. Let's see what they're talking about. Attorneys for Daniel Penny have collected more than $280,000 for a legal defense fund through a website that bills itself as a Christian fundraising platform and has supported several divisive right-wing cases. The official fund generated by law firm Razor and Kenneth PC, which is representing Penny, had raised more than $283,000 as of 11 a.m. Friday. Penny's lawyers confirmed they set up the fund on GiveSendGo and said it launched earlier this week. Like many crowdsourcing sites, GiveSendGo supports various causes such as medical bills and funeral expenses. It has promoted itself as the #1 free Christian fundraising site and has also hosted funds for the January 6th defendants and Kyle Rittenhouse, who was acquitted of homicide after killing 2 people during a 2020 protest in Wisconsin. Penny is seen in video footage choking Jordan Neely, a homeless man on an F train headed uptown in early May as other passengers held Neely down. The city medical examiner said Neely died by strangulation and deemed his death a homicide. The Manhattan District Attorney's Office announced Thursday it would be charging Penny with manslaughter, and he surrendered to police on Friday morning. He is expected to be arraigned on Friday afternoon. Daniel Penny is a 24-year-old college student and decorated Marine veteran facing a criminal investigation stemming from him quote-unquote protecting individuals on a New York City subway train from an assailant who later died. Funds are being raised to pay Mr. Penny's legal fees incurred from any criminal charges filed and any future civil lawsuits that may rise, as well as expenses related to his defense. The fund notes that proceeds exceeding those necessary to cover Mr. Penny's legal defense will be donated to a mental health advocacy program in New York City, though it does not specify which one. A fundraising goal is not listed on the Give, Send, Go page. Now, mind you, this is pre-millionaire status. We're going to get to that. But I wanted to read this article first so people can know what this site is and who frequents it. My Kim says, did you see how many of the... I'm going to get to that. I'm going to get to that page. That's going to be after this. As of Friday morning, the fund had received more than 4,700 donations and more than 3,400 pray votes. A feature unique to Give, Send, Go. It has been shared more than 1,000 times. Give, Send, Go has been host to several right-leaning crowdfunding campaigns in the past. Among them, legal defense funds for Rittenhouse, who was acquitted of all charges in a criminal trial after fatally shooting 2 people in Kenosha, Wisconsin, in 2020 amid protests against the police shooting of Jacob Blake, a black man who was left paralyzed. It also established a January 6th legal defense fund for people charged in connection with the 2021 Capitol riots, as well as legal defense fund for MyPillow CEO Mike Lindell, who promoted former President Donald Trump's effort to overturn the 2020 election. All Americans are concerned about election integrity, said Give, Send, Go co-founder Jacob Wells in a press release at the time. Through this campaign, Mike Lindell is giving them an opportunity to correct flaws in the system. In a statement provided to Gotham is Friday, Wells confirmed that the site's religious philosophy, but said it supports causes across the political spectrum. Give, Send, Go does not support right-wing causes over left-wing causes. Give, Send, Go is a platform that allows campaigns that are legal endeavors from all sides of the political ideological divide. In this moment in time, when voices are amplified through social platforms, potentially damaging an individual's right to a fair and impartial trial, it is paramount to allow individuals the access to funds to afford them a rigorous defense and a presumption of innocence until proven guilty in a court of law. This principle is a fundamental to our constitutional republic, and again, at Give, Send, Go, we will continue to stand for these fundamental freedoms while also sharing the hope of Jesus with everyone who uses our platform. Yep, brown bags, they have. So I just wanted to read to y'all where this Give, Send, Go, like what is it? Because a lot of people didn't, when it comes to stuff like this, people know of GoFundMe and Kickstarter for the most part, but no one knew what this was. But they about to know about it now, because I'm guarantee if this happens again, and the unfortunate part it may, this is where they're gonna probably go to. And they love to use and hide behind the mask of Christianity. So since everybody's pretty much jumped the gun, let's go ahead and jump to this next tab, and that's this part right here. This is the Give, Send, Go crowdfunding that they've started, or they did, for Daniel Penny. And I was kind of peeking in on TBA's live stream. Well, I'm sorry, his broadcast, last night. And he was talking about this. And last night, the raised was 1.3 million plus. Today, it's at 1.7 million plus. It's almost at 1.8. He might crack 2 mil by the end of the week. Now, mind you, this campaign was just started like a couple days ago. It is not this campaign that they started for Daniel Penny is not even a week old. And look at how much they raised in a week. $1,798,647 and counting. Let me refresh the page and see if it went up. There it is. Look at what happened when I refreshed the page. $1,832,581. I just refreshed the page, y'all. I just refreshed the page. Now, it says it has recent donations 0 minutes ago, so that means within the last minute. So we seeing 45, 50, 10, 100, 25, 20, 1,000, 100, 10, so on and so forth. Let's look at these top donations. Oh, look who has a top donation. Vivek Ramaswamy donated $10,000 57 minutes ago. Are y'all seeing this? Hold on, let me zoom in just in case y'all can't see it. It says it right there. Vivek Ramaswamy, 57 minutes ago, $10,000. He's the top donor. Out of everyone who has donated, he is the top donor. And you already know how we feel about him over here. Now, this one right here says anonymous donor 10,000, anonymous donor 5,000, anonymous 5,000. Kid Rock, look at this. Kid Rock donated $5,000 5 hours ago. Kid Rock donated $5,000 5 hours ago. He said Mr. Penny is a hero. Alvin Bragg is a POS. Kid Rock. More like needs to kick rocks, but okay. Anonymous donor. And I'm going to see these names. I don't know who this Mark Mason is. Let's see. I want to see what they say. I deeply admire your character and integrity. I am a small Asian woman, and I have been terrorized in the quote unquote safe areas by the mentally disturbed and or racist with no one to come to my aid, especially not the police or government. I wish there were more people like you. I'm sorry you have to endure this, but history is on your side. Thank you for your service to our country in more ways than one. Now, who do you think she's talking about when she's talking about she's being quote unquote attacked? Let's see. Christopher, I don't know who that is. I feel like I should know who some of these people are. Clarence Pawan. This looks like a tether right here. Let's see here. Okay, and it ends right there. So those are the last of the top donors. But yeah, the Ramen Noodle was the top donor. Go, man. Listen, I'm even more glad I'm doing this stream because I wasn't expecting that. Yes, that Kid Rock. To those of y'all saying Kid Rock in a question formation, yes, that Kid Rock. He let his presence be known. But let me refresh the page one more time and see what them numbers is. Remember, it's at 1.8. Let's see, where it is right now. Okay, it went up slightly. It looked like it went up like maybe like another 1,000 or maybe another 500 or something like that. So again, 0 minutes means these were donated within the last minute, just as soon as I refresh the page. So they're constantly rolling in. I'm telling you, this thing will be at 2 mil. Shoot, it may be at 2 mil by tomorrow. So I just wanted y'all to see that. Let me see what y'all talking about in the comments. Songwriter Sunny said, we knew this was how Dub S functions. I'd be more concerned with our own people's responses after having the same 24 hours. Donna said, I get it's going to be at 3 mil in a few more days. My guess is 4 mil. I would say probably by the end of the month, we got what, 2 whole weeks left of the month, 2.5 weeks. This thing might actually crack 5 mil by the end of the month. My Kim said, tomorrow, don't you mean tonight? Probably. If he gets a few more Ramaswamy sized donations, it could be. Two Factor said Jordan's GoFundMe is at 116K. Let me see something here. Yes, I'm looking. Let me share the page right quick. All right, so this is Jordan Neely's GoFundMe. Yeah, they had a goal of 75K, and they more than surpassed their goal. Of $116,315, and his service is going to be on May 19th, which is this coming Friday. Well, we know why he didn't get that much, because again, they had to, when they saw him as the guy that needed to go. They saw him as the guy that needed to go. Hold on, y'all. I just posted Jordan Neely's GoFundMe into the chat. Do with it what you must. And see, the thing is, they most likely didn't promote the GoFundMe like that, because they kept promoting Daniel Penny's thing, whatever. But let's see the top donors for this one. So the top donor on this one is a person they just put themselves, me, myself, and I, and they donated 5,000, 1,000, 700, 500. It was a lot of 500s. 350, 318, 310, 250, 200, so on and so forth. Okay. But you want to know the reason why Jordan Neely doesn't have nearly as much as Daniel Penny? And Daniel Penny has over 1 million, almost 2 million. Do y'all want to know the real reason why that is? Because I can tell you what it is. And shout out to Lisa Cabrera, because she actually did a video talking about this. Do y'all want to know why? Put a 1 in the chat if you want to know why Daniel Penny has literally become a millionaire overnight, and why the GoFundMe for Jordan Neely is not touching that. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all want to know, because that's going to segue into the next tab. Okay, here we go. The reason why Daniel Penny's crowdfunding is so high is because of this guy right here. Let me zoom in so y'all can really see it. There you go. This is why Daniel Penny crowdfunding, or his Give Send Go, is at over 1 million. When Rhonda Snowflake tweeted this out, he says, "We must defeat the Soros-funded DAs, stop the left's pro-criminal agenda, and take back the streets for law-abiding citizens. We stand with good Samaritans like Daniel Penny. Let's show this Marine America's got his back." He posted this May 12th, 2023 at 10:32 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It got 11 million views, 9,889 retweets, 2,481 quote tweets, 51,600 plus likes, and 599 bookmarks. Now, when you look at this date and you look at, hold on, this, that's 2 days, almost 2 days ago. It lines up. Keep in mind, I talked about in my live stream on Friday, the Snowflake just signed a bill in the state of Florida with conjunction with the AAPI, also along with the the Asian American Pacific Islander group, to make teaching Asian American history a requirement in Florida schools. But he wants to enact something called the Stop Woke Act. And did. We know what that's code speak for. Brownback said, I truly believe if he doesn't get locked up, there will be more than riots in NY. I guess we'll see. I won't hold my breath, but they probably going to be on standby. No Fly Zone said Kyle Rittenhouse and others were able to raise similar numbers. It's about Dub S being financially on code. You're right about that. The one time I will give black people this when they were on code was when they helped out Dwayne Stafford. Put a 1 in the chat if you know who Dwayne Stafford is. Put a 2 if you don't. Because I'm about to explain who Dwayne Stafford is, just in case y'all are unaware. Okay, I'm seeing some 1s and a lot of 2s. Okay. Well, Dwayne Stafford, he was a black prisoner down in South Carolina around the same time that Dylan Roof, that devil, was put in the same lockup as he was. Well, let's just say one day Dylan Roof was in the shower and the door was kind of unlocked. And Dwayne went in and put them hands on Dylan Roof, which is why Dylan Roof had to get transferred to another facility outside of the state. He's still on death row. Don't get it twisted. Now, here's where black people came in. Black people got so on cold for Dwayne Stafford, they found the number to donate money to his books. And within that week, Dwayne Stafford was out of jail. And whatever money he had left over was his to keep. And to my knowledge, I haven't heard really much anything about Dwayne Stafford since, as far as anything negative, which is a good thing. Dwayne Stafford literally became a hero to black people that day. He basically pulled a light version of Christopher Scarver. Because when that happened, I immediately thought of Christopher Scarver. It just didn't go as far as Christopher Scarver did. But yeah, that's a person whose name is going to remain in infamy. Remember that name from this day forward. If you never heard of Dwayne Stafford before today and you heard about him right now, keep that name locked into your memory. Now, we are going to move on from this because I wanted to show something very interesting. And it's a story that, like Kid Gravity said, actually shared with me. So y'all know how when the whole thing happened with Jordan Neely, they immediately started pulling up, oh, he was arrested 40 times for this, that, and the third. He had all these charges. This needs to happen, and this needs to happen. I'm telling y'all right now, May 12th is becoming a very, very interesting date. I should have titled this stream May 12th. Because check this story out coming out of Chattanooga, Tennessee. How many of y'all heard about this story? I heard about this the other day. And I said, I'm either going to put it in this stream or it's going to be a separate Operation Protect the White Boy. But I said, nah, let me put it into this stream. So this is about to be the first ever Operation Protect the White Boy video on a live stream. Peep this. All 44 all 44 charges against former Hamilton deputy Wilkie dismissed. I'm not going to say the word, but violations, oppression, other charges stem from alleged forced baptism, other incidents. May 12th, 2023. Kid Gravity said Daniel Holtzclaw. Yeah, well, see, what the difference between him and Dirty Dick Danny, as I like to call him, is that Daniel Holtzclaw is actually doing the time he should be doing, which is like 200 plus years. This guy, on the other hand, he did all of this, 44, and got all of the charges dismissed. All of them. Let's read into this, shall we? Because I'm already pulled in just from the title alone. More than 40 criminal charges against former Hamilton County Sheriff's Deputy Daniel Wilkie were dismissed Friday after a prosecutor said he sees no avenue of prosecution because of, quote unquote, missing files in the case. Hold on. Wait a minute. Flag on the play. Sees no avenue of prosecution because of missing files. What do you mean missing files? Probably more like shredded files or deleted files. You just don't. 40 criminal charges, those just don't go missing. Those just don't go missing and evaporate into thin air. Justice demands this case be dismissed, criminal court judge Barry Stillman said while granting the dismissal Friday. I'm telling you right now, if I was on the opposite team, I would have been losing my mind in that courtroom. In 2019, Wilkie was indicted and arrested on 44 charges, including 6 counts of sexual battery, 2 counts of violations, 9 counts of official oppression, and multiple counts of extortion, stalking, and assault. According to court records, he resigned. He wasn't fired from the sheriff's office after his arrest. In a motion to dismiss the case filed Friday, prosecutor Kevin Allen said he was never given the main case file that supported the charges against Wilkie, which should have been kept at the Hamilton County District Attorney's office. Allen said several of the charges didn't have enough evidence to be prosecuted because the alleged victims connected to them did not speak to investigators or law enforcement before a grand jury indicted Wilkie. Even without the complete case file, Allen said he made an effort to speak with investigators and others who had worked on the case to see if it could move forward. Based on information obtained from those sources and more significantly information assembled from the parallel civil litigation, the state sees no avenue of prosecution in this matter and moves to dismiss Allen's motion, said. Alana said, what are the odds that he will apply for the job again? Probably high, considering he resigned and they dropped all these charges. He could probably very well try to apply for another job. Allen and Wilkie both declined to comment further following Friday's hearing. When I heard about it, of course, I was glad to hear it, Sheriff Austin Garrett said in an interview Friday afternoon. It's a good resolution. Look at this tacky, disgusting response. When I heard about it, of course, I was glad to hear. This guy was glad to hear that there was this dude who has all these charges on him and was just able to walk. The charges came from 3 victims who alleged Wilkie had performed illegal body and cavity searches during traffic stops, and another who alleged Wilkie coerced her into being baptized after a traffic stop, where she admitted to having a small amount of marijuana, according to court documents. 17 of the 44 accounts against Wilkie were related to alleged instances of reckless driving, mostly speeding, found while investigators reviewed the deputy's dashboard camera footage in response to the rest of the allegations court filings state. Wilkie's attorney, Ben McGowan, said in an email to the Chattanooga Times Free Press on Friday that the dismissal supports what the defense team has said from the beginning. The former district attorney's criminal charges against Mr. Wilkie were actually unfounded and should have never been filed. Wilkie still faces several claims of civil rights violations in federal lawsuits, many related to the same allegations. Look, if they dropped all these charges against him, I don't know what the rest is going to hold up. I don't know how it's going to hold up. Robin Flores, a Chattanooga attorney representing the estate of the late Shandell Riley, who alleged Wilkie baptized her in exchange for a lighter punishment, called Friday's dismissal a joke. Riley died of an overdose in 2022. So someone who could possibly been a star witness just dies of an overdose last year? Who knows? She could have been the deciding factor of this guy's true fate. I've never spoken once to this district attorney, Flores said by phone Friday. We have mountains of evidence and dispositions and discovery material filed in federal court. All he had to do was ask for it. Allen, a prosecutor with the Nashville-based Tennessee District Attorneys General Conference, was appointed to represent the state in August because the newly elected Hamilton County District Attorney Cody Wamp had worked as an attorney in the Hamilton County Sheriff's Office during litigation over Wilkie's actions. Allen said he asked Neil Pinkston, the former district attorney ousted by Wamp in the 2022 Republican primary, to send him the case files during the final days of Pinkston's term. At that time, the motion states Pinkston said the file was not in the district attorney's office, but that he had planned to send one at some point. None would ever be provided. Allen said in the dismissal motion, as of the date of this pleading, no file has been located. Pinkston said in a phone interview Friday the file should have been in his office when Allen requested it, but he does not remember receiving that request while still in office. He told reporters in a Friday news conference he does not know where the file is or was, and didn't know why the district attorney's office couldn't find it after he left. I'm just hearing a lot of incompetency. He never called to testify in court about the missing file, Pinkston said in an email Friday. There's some 50,000 cases a year that roll through the judicial system, Pinkston said at the conference. Why is that the only case that can't be located? Oh, I can tell you why, because they purposely got rid of it. They had every intention of having this guy walk, and they were successful. The former district attorney suggested Wilkie's criminal charges being dismissed may be politically motivated. It's politically driven by a number of forces that be, and they want to take a shot at me and blame me for it, Pinkston told reports Friday. Wamp said she was never involved in the Wilkie case and objected to the idea that his dismissal was political in any way. She said she did not know of any instances in which a case file could not be found. I never believed I would handle it, she said by phone Friday. I don't even know all the counts. Pinkston said he communicated with Allen in January, months after leaving office, and gave a spreadsheet of alleged violations based on dashboard camera videos with notes from officers who reviewed the footage. He also pointed Allen to footage from the traffic stops that the FBI and Tennessee Bureau of Investigation used while investigating some of the allegations against Wilkie, Pinkston said Friday. Following the dismissal, Pinkston filed an affidavit in response to Allen's allegations, saying he did not conceal, destroy, or withhold any evidence in Wilkie's case. In 2019, James Mitchell was arrested on narcotics charges after Wilkie allegedly found him with cocaine and marijuana during a traffic stop. Days later, an attorney representing Mitchell released a statement alleging Mitchell had been violated during an anal cavity search. Did y'all hear that? It said he was allegedly violated during an anal cavity search. Now, this is clearly this is a man. I wasn't expecting to hear that. The Chattanooga Hamilton County NAACP held a news conference. The fact that it's the NAACP lets me know that this James guy is black. Held a news conference following the release of video from traffic stop, echoing allegations of violation and accusing the sheriff's office of brutality. I can't understand how you could take the information that was available and not prosecute the person, NAACP chapter president, the Reverend Ann Jones Pierre, said by phone following Friday's dismissal. What would the police department, the sheriff's office do to make the citizens believe that they're really trying to protect us, that they hold their officers, excuse me, and deputies accountable for their actions? In arguing for the dismissal of charges of violation and assault connected to Mitchell's allegations, Allen said Mitchell did not disclose the alleged penetration during a medical screening at the jail or during 2 emergency room visits following his release. He also did not tell TBI investigators he had been violated, the motion states, but later told Pinkston about the anal search and reportedly said he had been embarrassed to disclose it earlier. Allen said in the motion, Mitchell, who had a lengthy criminal record that included several felony convictions for selling drugs, would have known the amount of drugs he was found with during the traffic stop could send him to prison for decades. The prosecutor implied Mitchell's history may have influenced his interactions with Wilkie. Now I see why Kid Gravity mentioned Daniel Holtzclaw, because when you look at the case of Daniel Holtzclaw and all those women he violated, you know, they were all black, but they all had some kind of history attached to them to make them not appear to be believed in a court of law, which would make it easier for him to walk. That's until he came across that last one who had not one bit of a criminal history on him, and that's the one that sent him away. So now I see the parallel here. Crimes of violence and crimes of dishonesty are both among his history. Video shows deputies, including Wilkie, repeatedly beating Mitchell, pulling his pants down, and reaching into his groin and bottom area for about 2 minutes before pulling out a plastic baggie. I will remind the public that there is no use of force that looks good, Garrett, the sheriff, and of the video Friday. But you got to slow it down and you have to look at all the facts and circumstances. A use of force can be somewhat excessive, but it doesn't make it criminal. Everybody's human. Everyone makes mistakes. In his motion to dismiss Allen, said most custodial arrests that police make require some sort of lawful assault or battery on the arrestee. Garrett said he's unsure what that assertion is based on and did not know if that was true for the sheriff's office. Mitchell's case prompted Pinkston when the district attorney to pull hundreds of hours of dash cam footage from Wilkie's patrol car for review. That review, Pinkston said Friday, came after repeated complaints about Wilkie from the community. The James Mitchell arrest on July 10, 2019 was the catalyst behind the entire indictment in this case. After Mitchell's allegations became public, Shandell Riley filed a complaint with the sheriff's office about the alleged forced baptism that Wilkie performed on her during a traffic stop earlier in 2019, so it's the same year. After admitting to having a marijuana roach in her car, Riley said in federal court filings that Wilkie offered to baptize her in exchange for writing a citation he said would let her avoid jail time. Another deputy recorded the baptism on his phone. Riley's federal lawsuit alleged she was coerced and that Wilkie stripped to his underwear before performing the baptism. In court filings, Wilkie and Riley asked to be baptized and denied making any deal with her about the citation. Allen said in the dismissal motion, Wilkie made a poor decision to baptize Riley, but violations of freedom of religion are not a prosecutable crime. Riley and Mitchell filed their civil lawsuits against Wilkie within 5 days of each other in the fall of 2019. In December, 2 more alleged victims also filed separate suits after Wilkie was indicted on criminal charges. One, Kelsey Wilson, alleged Wilkie touched her inappropriately during a 2018 traffic stop after he smelled marijuana in the car. See, he was using something against them to get whatever it is he wanted. And as you can see, the guy is a straight up creep. And that's putting it lightly. She also alleged that Wilkie stalked her, pulled her over 15 to 20 times in a 10-month time period, and touching her inappropriately during multiple searches. Prosecutors said there is no video evidence from Wilkie's car of those stops and said that Wilson did not speak about her allegations with law enforcement or prosecutors until Mitchell's case was filed. The final alleged victim, Maxwell Jarnigan, accused Wilkie of touching his groin during a traffic stop during which Jarnigan's father was found with methamphetamine. Jarnigan alleged the search was too long for the circumstances, which prosecutors say is a civil issue, not a criminal charge. And that's the entire article right there. So all the people right there who has something to say about Jordan Neely and his 40 plus whatever, I want to know what y'all got to say about this. And I got to ask my people in the chat, for all of my subscribers who are in here who are from Tennessee, is this your first time hearing about this story? And this can go for anybody, but I really want to hear from my people who are in here who may be who are from Tennessee, who may be in here. Is this your first time hearing about this story? All right, Blueberry Muffin said nope. I'll understand wholeheartedly if you say yes, because this story just came my way like yesterday and it was posted the day before. Sneaker Shop Talk said, I live in the state and this is my first time hearing about it. I'm not surprised by that either. Like, this is insane. If this was just an Operation Protect the White Boy video, this one right here would probably be, it will be up there. It would be up there. But that is insane. Wow. But y'all listen, I had to come on here and do this stream right quick. I know it's Mother's Day, it's Sunday, tomorrow's Monday, and people got to get ready to go and get back to the hustle and bustle of life. But I do appreciate everybody that did come through, and chill with me for like the last hour or so, going over all of this stuff. Shout out to everybody who came through. Again, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. We'll be back on here tomorrow with the 3 videos a day, 10, 2 p.m. and 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I definitely appreciate everybody coming through this, because this is a special live stream. This is going to stay up on the channel, so you can go ahead and catch the playback for those of y'all who missed it. And I know it's going to be a lot of people that did. I can tell by the count, but it was still a lot of people that was in here. With that being said, y'all be easy. Y'all be safe. Be one. Take care.